Welcome to the second episode of Hidden Heroes. In this episode, we'll be interviewing a student care teacher. So, can you give us a simple introduction of yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Shervon. I'm 18 years old and I'm working part-time at an after-school care center. Right now, I'm in charge of the class of Primary 4, Primary 5 and Primary 6, but I used to be in charge of Primary 2 as well. So I started right after the O-level results came out. So I think about now it's almost 1.5 years already. Now because I'm still schooling and I'm also working part-time, if during my school days I will go to school first and then right after school I will immediately go to work, and because it's an after-school care center, we only start when the students are dismissed from their school. So every day usually starts around 1 o'clock and we end around 7 o'clock, except for Wednesdays we start earlier, 12:30, because the students get dismissed earlier on Wednesdays. Students get dismissed from their school and they'll immediately come to our center because we are a school-based after-school care center and not a community-based. So it's much easier. We fetch them from the quadrangle and then we bring them to our center, and because of COVID, then we take safe entry and we take their temperature, and afterwards they'll first have lunch, and then for lower primary, they will either take their nap, which lasts about 2 hours. If not, they will do 听写 or spelling or any outstanding homework. And for the upper primary, they don't have nap time. They will just do their homework, 听写 spelling if they have. And if they're all done with that, then sometimes they can read or also do some activities provided by the teachers. I've always wanted to be a teacher ever since I was a kid. But I actually was aiming to be like a university teacher, like a lecturer or polytechnic lecturer or junior college lecturer. I didn't really like to interact with young kids, especially this specific age group of P1 to P6, because I heard stories that they were very difficult to handle. So actually at first I didn't really want to go into this industry while I was studying, but I was really, I wanted to try something new, and because I already knew that I would be going into the media industry by joining my course in Polytechnic, I knew that I may not have the chance to be an educator in the future when I do grow up and go into the workforce. So when I saw this job opening for an after-school care teacher, I decided to just go for it and try it out, because I was telling myself that I should try stuff and try new things that I wouldn't be able to do when I actually become a working adult with responsibilities. And I genuinely don't regret that decision, because right now a lot of my classmates and even my family members think that I'm working just to for an income, a side income while I'm studying. But it's actually more than that now, because I really got super attached to my students and I made such a great connection with them and even the other teachers in my care center that I refuse to leave. And if I think leaving this industry, which should be soon because I'm going to be year 3 soon, is going to be something that's very painful for me. Oh my gosh. I was jobless for 2 months. For the full-timers, for my colleagues, the COVID-19 hasn't really affected them that much because the after-school care center still has to operate. During the major lockdown that happened after COVID-19 hit fully in 2020, and everyone went to HBL and it was really the full lockdown, right? The care center actually still operated, and only part-timers like me and my younger colleagues were told to stay at home for the time being, because only 2 staff were needed on site. So during that time, only students whose parents are frontliners, or basically whose parents are still not working from home, are allowed to come to the center. Then it was only around 5 students, and we also had to cater to other students that may not actually be registered under our center but didn't have anyone at home to take care of them because their parents are frontliners. So then it was only 5-6 students, and my full-time colleagues still went to the centre, but part-timers like me didn't. Just yesterday I was joking with my mom, I'm gonna quit already.
Oh, you liar! Yeah. What?
There definitely have been many challenges I faced that have actually kind of made me consider quitting because there are three main factors. One is that I'm still schooling, and I also have a lot of commitment outside of my module stuff. So like, I have CCA and all the other mini projects that I'm trying to do to build up my portfolio, and to juggle that with work is sometimes a bit difficult because I'm very attached to my students. So I try to never take leave, or I always try to never be late for work. And sometimes when my lecturers let me off late, I will have to rush from Jurong all the way to UT, and usually it's like a 45-minute journey, but like, let's say they let me off at 1 o'clock, I need to reach there in half an hour, and I still need to buy my lunch. It gets very tiring for me to run down there, and sometimes I actually go without lunch because I just want to reach in time to fetch my students from the quadrangle. So sometimes it gets tiring, and that's one of the reasons why I have considered leaving. Another one would be sometimes parents are a bit unreasonable. They demand a lot from the teachers, and they demand a lot from us outside of our job scope. So I haven't gotten any direct complaints from parents before, because usually it always gets brought up to my supervisor, and usually it's not about me. But when I hear other colleagues get sort of told by the parents that they are not meeting up to the parents' expectations, it kind of scares me as well, because even though I am only 18 and I am still a student, I am technically right now in charge of the primary 4s, 5 and 6s, because their form teacher is on pregnancy leave, so I'm her assistant teacher. But because she's now on her maternity leave, I'm the sort of standing in form teacher. And it kind of scares me sometimes because primary 4, 5 and 6 is a very important period in their lives. Every second counts because they're preparing for their big national exam. I always get that first of all, parents, not just the parents complaining, but also the fact that I do something that doesn't help them reach their full potential. And when they do take the national exam, when they get their results back, they will have regrets of not spending their time properly in the care centre. Because even though I try to let them have fun, I'm also scared that they are having too much fun, or on the flip side, they are not having fun at all, and I'm just making them do work and work and work. So that's another thing. And then last thing would be, my co-workers. Actually, everyone in my care centre I get along with very well, but recently we got a new co-worker. Not seeing my students for a week makes me feel really sad, because I always hear stories that whenever I don't come to work and they come to the centre and they realise that I'm not there, they get upset, especially the people. So it makes me feel very upset. I don't think I will ever quit willingly. Some of my classmates and family members think that the teachers that work at my centre don't really want to be there, and that is a very easy job. I've had a few of my classmates tell me that you just sit there at the table, right? That's all you do, right? You mark papers and you sit there. A lot of my classmates also think that I'm just doing it just because it's an easy job and I can get money just by sitting at a table. And I think there's a very big misconception that after school care teachers have it easy, because it's not always easy, especially when you are handling a bunch of students from many different backgrounds. Disciplining them is the most difficult aspect in my opinion, because every student has a personality, every student has a different way of thinking. So this method of disciplining may work on one student, but when I say the same thing or when I do the same thing to another student, she may not take me seriously.
And to conclude this interview, our last question would be, what do you want the viewers to know?
I think I want the viewers to know that many of you who are watching this may be around my age group, and in the future you may have kids and you may have to send your kids to after school care. Or even if you're a viewer who is older in age now and you have a child, I think it's very important for you to know that after school care centre is catered for families and parents that are too busy with their jobs and are unable to take care of their children. Although after school care center is definitely a good way for students to interact with one another and to build their character in times of COVID-19, when it's absolutely necessary for the kids to stay home. I would like the older viewers to take into consideration that there are students who genuinely need to be here if their parents are frontliners, and if you do have the means to keep your kid at home, by all means, I think it's better that you keep your kid at home for the good of the community, and also for you to spend more time with your kid. And I guess for the younger viewers who may have kids in the future, hopefully by then COVID will be over already. So I think for them, I hope that they learn or know that teachers always do their best. And I don't think there is a single teacher who would wish ill on any of their students. And I feel that as a parent in the future, you can try to be understanding to not just after school care teachers, but just any teacher in general, because no matter what they do, they're doing their best, and they're doing the best for the good of the class. Just be more understanding to all the teachers around.
We would like to thank you for taking part in this interview, and we also hope that the viewers will be able to know more and learn more about what it's like to be a childcare teacher, and also what goes on in the student care industry.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Hidden Heroes. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar content. Don't forget to be kind to your childcare teachers too. Do comment below on what jobs you want to see us cover, and feel free to drop us a DM for any inquiries. We hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, remember to stay safe and mask up.